primarily when we launch out, we are on a close air support mission. So we take off, we fly out to the area that we've been told to go, and we contact normally a forward air controller on the ground in that area. And then we essentially do whatever he asks us to do. But that involves normally looking with some of our sensors on board the aircraft, looking in various areas that they have suspicions that somebody may be up to something in that area, or simply areas where they may be going in the near future. And we'll try to kind of scout those out for them and report back what we're seeing, because obviously we have a bit of a different view being overhead than he's going to have on the ground. Mm-hmm. And then obviously if the Marines on the deck or the Army guys, if we're supporting them, run into any kind of problem, they're actually in a firefight or something like that, we carry the ordnance to be able to attack any targets that those guys identify for us.
Okay, so what's been the most, I don't know, the most intense or dangerous mission that you've flown here?
Up in Husayba in early November, the Marines were doing a pretty big operation there, clearing that town out of a lot of the insurgents and terrorists in there. And it was a normal flight, we thought, when we launched up there, but it turns out they were in a TIC, which is a troops in contact situation, taking fire from a lot of different directions, and they needed our ordnance right away. And there also was some fairly bad weather up there, so we ended up attacking some targets through the weather and in support of the Marines, which normally, when we drop a single piece of ordnance, that kind of settles the whole thing. We normally kill those bad guys, or they no longer have an interest in fighting, and that's pretty much it, and we start our reconnaissance role from that point. But in this case, actually, each piece of ordnance we dropped, the situation sounded like it was getting worse on the deck. So we got rid of a few of our pieces of ordnance. Then we ended up having to go down below the weather to actually visually find these targets, and then we continued attacking targets to include, we even emptied out our gun. Yeah, that was definitely my most exciting flight. Simply in that they really, you could tell, I mean, obviously we're in an aircraft, we're comfortable. Generally speaking, I don't think anybody was shooting at us. Yeah. But you can definitely tell from their voice the guys on the ground were under fire, and that they wanted that fire to stop.
Yeah.
And so we were wanting to do everything we could possibly do to help them out. And so we descended below the weather, and we could actually see what was going on in the city.
What did it look like?
And that was the first time I've ever seen that I've been able to observe a lot of ground fire on the deck. We could see impacts from, I couldn't tell for sure what the rounds were that were impacting. Definitely bigger than small arms, but probably smaller than mortars. We definitely saw some mortar explosions and possibly RPGs and that sort of thing. So there was a big firefight going on down there.
Uh, 332's commander, they call him the skipper, Lieutenant Colonel David Wilbur, flies missions alongside his aircrew. And on one day he invited me to follow him on the pre-flight routine that he and his backseat navigator and then the folks he's flying with have to go through to actually get into the air. Every mission involves 2 jets, and each jet has 2 aircrew, the pilot in the front and then a weapons and systems operator in the back seat. And they start out by taking a van from the squadron building across the base to where the aircraft are, to the apron.
The only thing that makes me nervous about this, my wife actually might see. She'll see what I'm really up to.
What have you been telling her?
We're actually in Hawaii.
At the apron, there's a maintenance hangar where the air crew will sign up. They will sign forms taking official possession of the jet and taking responsibility for the jet, and they'll review the jet's maintenance logs to make sure there aren't any problems. And then the next thing they do is head to a shed where they will actually suit up for the flight, which involves putting on a pressurized flight suit that can help combat the effect of pulling G's, that is in a tight maneuver, the force of gravity increases, and can drain the blood away from your organs. And so the flight suit helps sort of squeeze your body to keep the blood evenly distributed, so it keeps you from going unconscious during a difficult maneuver. So they put on their flight suits, they put on flak vests, they wear a sidearm in case they get shot down and have to defend themselves, a survival radio for calling for help if they get shot down. And then they grab their helmets and they head out to the jets. And it's a short walk across the tarmac to the jet. When they finally get to their jet, there are several Marine enlisted maintenance crews from the squadron there who have prepared the jet for the flight and are sort of there to hand it over to the air crew. In addition to the crew that prepared the jet for the flight, there's a third crew that didn't prepare it and is sort of there as for oversight, an impartial party to make sure that no mistakes have been made. So the air crew will inspect the jet, walk around it, and poke their fingers in nooks and crannies, and wiggle things, and make sure that the jet seems to be in working order. And they'll chat with the ground crew that prepared the jet, and finally they'll take responsibility for the jet, having already signed for it, and climb in and get ready to take off. And it takes a while to spin up. They turn the jet's engines on, get all the systems activated, sort of boot up the computers and things like that, get the navigation system calibrated. In the case that a jet does break while it's spinning up, there's always a spare jet nearby, and the crew can just hop into the spare jet and continue the mission. And once the jet's ready to go, they close the canopy and they taxi out to a distant point where there's a weapons crew that arms all the bombs and missiles and the gun, things like that on the jet. And they do that while pointing the jet away from anything, away from other Marines, away from other jets, just point it out into the desert in case something accidentally fires, I suppose. And having activated all the weapons, then the jet pulls out to the runway and then waits for the scheduled time to take off. The enlisted Marines who maintain 332's jets are the unsung heroes of the squadrons. The flyers get a fair amount of attention. There's always media hanging around, and their work days are short, if hardly safe. And they've also got a lot of creature comforts just to keep them comfortable and focused on their jobs. Like I said, they fly 6 hours. They have a 6-hour workday essentially, of which 2 of that is flying. The Marines who maintain the jets, on the other hand, are outside in the heat or the rain for 12-hour shifts, turning wrenches and changing out lubes and kicking tires. So they're out there every day working long hours and without a lot of the glory that the flyers receive.
What's your job here at Al Asad?
I am F-18 mechanic.